Imagine standing in the middle of a gold mine but having no way to buy a loaf of bread. This is the terrifying reality for millions of Americans entering retirement in 2026. You have worked for decades to build a high net worth. You look at your balance sheet and see $1 million or maybe even $2 million. But there is a dangerous lie hidden inside those numbers. Most people are celebrated for being house rich and cash poor. Society tells you that owning a large home is the ultimate sign of success. The Federal Reserve data tells a much darker story. Your net worth is a vanity metric that does not pay your bills. You cannot go to the grocery store and pay with a piece of your kitchen counter. You cannot go to the pharmacy and trade your backyard for life-saving medication. In 2026, liquidity is the only thing that equals true freedom. If your wealth is locked in bricks and mortar, you are not wealthy. You are simply a high-stakes caretaker for a static asset. Let us look at the brutal math that your bank will not tell you. Across the United States, nearly half of the total wealth for people over 60 is tied up in home equity. On paper, you look like a millionaire. In reality, you are one major repair or one medical emergency away from a crisis. The cost of maintaining a home has skyrocketed over the last 3 years. Property taxes, insurance premiums, and utility costs are eating into your fixed income. A house that is worth $1.5 million often costs $50,000 a year just to exist. If you are retired and living on Social Security, that math is a death trap. The gap between what you think you have and what you can actually spend is the greatest threat to your future. Many people in 2026 are realizing they are trapped in a comfortable prison. They live in expensive zip codes, but they are afraid to turn on the air conditioning. They drive luxury vehicles, but they hesitate to book a flight to see their grandchildren. This is not what retirement was supposed to look like. The problem starts with how we define success. We have been conditioned to believe that a bigger number on a screen means more security. But wealth is not about what you own. Wealth is about the gap between your passive income and your monthly expenses. If you make $200,000 a year but spend $190,000, you are poor. If you have $2 million in home equity but $0 in dividend income, you are fragile. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances shows a shocking trend this year. The typical household in the top 10% of net worth has very little cash. Their wealth is static, frozen, and inaccessible without taking on massive debt. Taking a reverse mortgage or a home equity line of credit is often just a band-aid on a broken system. You are essentially borrowing your own money back from the bank and paying them interest for the privilege. True financial independence requires a fundamental shift in your strategy. You must stop focusing on accumulation and start focusing on distribution. The goal is not to die with the largest pile of assets. The goal is to live with the highest level of liquidity. Think about two different retirees. The first person has a $3 million home in a coastal city. They have a small savings account and they worry about the stock market every single day. The second person has a $500,000 condo and $2 million in a liquid brokerage account. The second person is infinitely wealthier than the first. Why? Because the second person has options. The second person has flexibility. The second person has freedom. In 2026, the world is moving too fast to have your money stuck in the mud. The real estate market is no longer the guaranteed gold mine it used to be. Higher interest rates have made it harder to sell quickly when you need the cash. If you need to liquidate your home to pay for a health crisis, you might be waiting 6 months for a buyer. By then, the damage is already done. This is why you must audit your liquidity ratio today. Take your total cash and investable assets and divide them by your total net worth. If that number is less than 20%, you are in the danger zone. You are living on a financial edge that is thinner than you realize. The sage move in this economy is to prioritize cash flow over prestige. This might mean selling the family home and moving to a lower-cost area. It might mean downsizing while you are still healthy and have the energy to move. Waiting until a crisis forces you to sell is a recipe for disaster. When you sell out of desperation, you lose your leverage. When you sell by choice, you maintain your power. Let us talk about the myth of the safe withdrawal rate. For years, experts told us that withdrawing 4% of our portfolio was safe. In 2026, that advice is outdated and risky. With higher volatility and persistent inflation, 4% might drain your tank too fast. Modern analysts now suggest 3.3% is the new ceiling for safety. But even 3% does not work if your assets are not producing income. You cannot withdraw 3% of a house. You can only withdraw from things that have a ticker symbol or a monthly check. The people who are winning right now are the ones who ignored the hype of the housing bubble. They focused on building portfolios that pay them to exist. Dividend stocks, high-yield bonds, and private lending have become the new cornerstones of a safe retirement. These assets do not require a roof repair or a lawn service. They do not send you a tax bill in the mail every 6 months. They simply deposit money into your account while you sleep. This is the difference between owning an asset and owning a job. A large home is a job that you pay for. A liquid portfolio is an employee that pays you. Many high earners are the slowest to realize this truth. They spent their prime years building a lifestyle that requires a massive monthly burn. They bought the boat, the vacation home, and the country club membership. Now they are 65 years old and they are terrified of the finish line. They have realized that their lifestyle has become a liability. They are stuck on a treadmill of earning just to maintain a facade of wealth. The math of the Federal Reserve is cold and unforgiving. It does not care about the memories you made in your living room. It does not care about the prestige of your neighborhood. It only cares about whether you have the dollars to cover your costs. If you are listening to this and feeling a sense of dread, that is a good thing. Panic is a great catalyst for change. It is better to feel the sting of the truth now while you still have time to act. You can choose to restructure your life on your own terms. You can choose to prioritize your peace of mind over your ego. The transition from a static life to a liquid life is the most important journey you will ever take. It requires rejecting the messages of the advertising industry. It requires ignoring the social pressure from your peer group. Your friends might judge you for moving into a smaller home, but they will not be there to pay your bills when the money runs out. True wealth is the ability to say no to things that do not serve you. It is the ability to walk away from a toxic situation without fear. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing your future is funded. As we move deeper into 2026, the gap between the liquid and the illiquid will grow. The people with cash will find incredible opportunities. They will buy assets when others are forced to sell. They will navigate the economic cycles with ease. The people with static net worth will be at the mercy of the market. They will be the ones selling at the bottom because they have no other choice. Do not be the person who is rich on paper and poor in spirit. Take a hard look at your balance sheet tonight. Identify every asset that is not working for you. Question every expense that is tied to your status rather than your survival. The path to freedom is not paved with gold. It is paved with liquidity. It is paved with the courage to live a life that makes sense for your future. The first step is admitting that the old rules are broken. The second step is taking action before the market takes it for you. Your net worth is a history book of where you have been. Your liquidity is a map of where you can go. Make sure you have the fuel to finish the journey. The math is simple, but the discipline is hard. But the reward for that discipline is a life without financial fear. And in 2026, that is the greatest luxury of all. We have seen the data. We have heard the warnings. Now it is up to you to decide which game you are playing. Are you playing the game of looking wealthy? Or are you playing the game of being free? The choice you make today will define the next 30 years of your life. Choose wisely. Choose liquidity. Choose freedom. The truth may be brutal, but it is the only thing that will set you back on the right path. You have the power to change your trajectory right now. Do not wait for a sign from the economy. The numbers have already told you everything you need to know. Look at your accounts. Face the reality of your situation and start building a future that is liquid, flexible, and truly your own. The world is changing and your strategy must change with it. Stop being a prisoner of your own success. Break free from the lie of net worth and start living the life you were meant to have. A life of security, a life of purpose, and a life of true wealth. This is the only way to win in 2026. This is the only way to find peace in a world of uncertainty. Take control today. Your future self will thank you for the courage you showed today. Every dollar you move from a dead asset to a living one is a victory. Every choice you make to prioritize your freedom is a step toward a better life. You are the architect of your financial destiny. Build something that lasts. Build something that works. Build a life that is truly liquid. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. Face the facts, do the math, and claim your freedom. The truth is right in front of you. All you have to do is listen.